What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and today I'm back to talk about Warhammer 40K. More specifically, tonight I'm looking at the new article, new-ish article that came out a few days ago on the Warhammer community talking about Hammer and Bolter. So this is a new animation series that's going to be coming to Warhammer Plus. I believe it's either going to come out on the 23rd of this month, or they're going to give us a ton of information on that day, because they keep talking about us to keep our eyes peeled for the 23rd. So with that being said, I'm going to be going over this article, but at the same time, I'm going to give you two movie recommendations that, although they're not Warhammer 40K quote-unquote official, they pretty much work perfectly. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So the first movie that I think you guys have to watch, I've talked about it before on the channel. It got demonetized because of the thumbnail that I used, but that movie is none other than Event Horizon. This is a movie that came out in 1997. It's about horror, science fiction, people going into space, encountering the unknown, and in my opinion, it's really good. Unfortunately, it didn't really do too good with like the critics and whatnot. I think Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a 30% or something. But in my opinion, it's perfect if you want something chaos related, 40K inspired. And I think the director of the movie actually said that he's a huge Warhammer 40K fan. So I'm pretty sure he got inspiration from this movie. So just to give you a quick synopsis of what it's about, here is what they have to say. When the Event Horizon, which is a spacecraft that vanished years earlier, suddenly reappeared, a team is dispatched to investigate the ship. Accompanied by the Event Horizon's creator, William Weir, the crew of the Lewis and Clark, led by Captain Miller, begins to explore the seemingly abandoned vessel. However, it soon becomes evident that something sinister resides within its corridors, and that the horror that befell the Event Horizon's previous journey is still present. So basically, a ship goes out into space, goes missing, and then mysteriously reappears. After that, another ship goes out to investigate, and then these guys encounter, to put it simply, chaos demons. It's got a pretty interesting cast. It's got Sam Neill, the dude from like Jurassic Park. You've got Lawrence Fishburne. I don't even have to explain who he is. He was in The Matrix and whatnot. So it's got a pretty cool cast. And to have like two well-known actors be in something 40K inspired, it gives us hope that maybe we'll get a new live action thing coming out for Disney Plus, which I think there was one already confirmed, but I haven't heard anything about it in months. So we'll just have to wait. But definitely check it out. I believe you could find this on Amazon and Hulu. Or if not, you could go to some like secondhand store and see if you could find Event Horizon. Like I said, it's a pretty older movie coming out in 1997. It is rated R. As you can see from some of like the screenshots that I was showing, it does get pretty pretty graphic. But still, Event Horizon can easily fit into the theme, the timeline of Warhammer 40K. Now, the next movie that you guys definitely need to check out is one that, oh man, it just looks so 40K, and that is none other than Judge Dredd. So once again, this is another dated movie. It came out in 1995, but this one's all about action and sci-fi. Once again, Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a 20%, so it's not that good. And the thing about this is that this one's a little bit more hard to put into realism, at least for me, because it got Sylvester Stallone and Rob Schneider in here. So if you guys like that kind of cheesiness, check out the Judge Dredd movie from 1995, but the one that I really recommend is just called Dredd. This one's more grittier, more dark. It came out in 2012, And for the most part, it's a way better movie. Rotten Tomatoes gave it like an 80%. Now, I'm not saying Rotten Tomatoes is the end-all be-all with rating movies, but it's definitely better than the older version. So check out Dredd, and here is the synopsis for the movie. Mega City 1 is a vast, violent metropolis where felons rule the streets. The only law lies with cops called judges, who act as judge, jury, and executioner. Dredd is one of the city's most feared judges. And one day, Dredd is partnered with Cassandra, a rookie with powerful psychic abilities. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. A report of a terrible crime sends Dredd and Cassandra to a dangerous area controlled by Mama, a drug lord who will stop at nothing to protect her empire. Now again, this is super like wrought in 40K. The Dredd, the judges, they're basically the police force of 40K. I believe they're called arbiters or enforcers, whatever I'm showing you here. These guys, they're available to use in Necromunda, I believe, and they're basically the police force of hive cities and that kind of thing. So basically, where these judges in Dredd go out to fight like criminals and crime lords, the arbiters or arbites, they go out to fight like the Necromunda gangs. So again, ripped right out of 40K. It works perfectly. Now the cool thing about this is that it's also a comic. So you guys, if you really enjoyed the movie, you guys can check out the comics too for more Dredd characters. So again, I'd say give all these three a watch. If anything, you can skip the 1995 Judge Dredd movie and just watch this Dredd. And hopefully that'll keep you in anticipation for what Warhammer Plus is going to give us. So now let's jump on over to that article to see what we have to look forward to for Hammer and Bolter. So basically, Hammer and Bolter is going to be an anthology series that delves into the dark corners of Warhammer, presenting a multitude of different characters and factions. It kicks off with an entire season of Warhammer 40,000 shorts, and each episode offers a window into the grim darkness of the far future in all its bleak, dystopian glory. Don't think for one moment that it'll pull any punches either. Hammer and Bolter is not for the faint-hearted. It is a brutal action and merciless carnage that you're after, then you won't be disappointed. So this is really cool. If you guys have Netflix, there is an anthology series called like War, Love, and Robots or something like that. Really great. It's basically mini episodes that each have their own story and they all finish in just a few minutes. There's different directors, different art styles, and it all involves a certain theme. So different stories, and I think overall, if you like that from Netflix, you'll love Hammer and Bolter that's coming out. So here they asked a few of the people working on it some questions, and they gave us a few answers. I'm not going to go over the whole article interview. I will have it posted down below so you guys can check out the link and read it for yourselves. But the Warhammer community people asked them, what kind of stories can we expect from Hammer and Bolter? And this is what John French has said. The defining feature of a Hammer and Bolter episode is that it shows you one of the many facets of Warhammer, and it will leave you with a sting of venom in its tail. The universe of Warhammer is huge. There's an infinite number of characters, factions, stories, settings, and time periods. As such, there's room for tragedy, horror, heroism, despair, humor, deceit, betrayal, murder, and salvation. Hammer and Bolter reflects that reality. We have stories set in the grinding lower levels of the Administratum, in the orc-infested wastes of a war world, and yes, even in the killing cold of Fenris. Similarly, we have stories about some of the most infamous characters of Warhammer. Commissar Yarrick, I'm looking at you. And about people who are some of the billions who will not be missed. Poor Adept Bull. Now George Mann also continues this question by saying, we wanted to represent lots of different textures of the Warhammer universe, as well as a host of different story types to show off the breadth and range of these fantastic settings. The first ones may all be set in the grim darkness of the far future, but we'll be exploring the wilds of the mortal realms as well. What this means is they're looking at Warhammer 40K and Age of Sigmar. Everything from blood-soaked war stories to horror stories to tales of faith, coming of age, corruption, humor, and brutality. We're telling them from a range of different perspectives too, so this isn't an all from the Imperium's point of view by any means. Hammer and Bolter is an anthology show in the truest sense of the word. We're going to run the gauntlet of highs and lows. So that's pretty cool. Basically, they're telling us that there is a lot to look forward to. Like, don't just think this is just, oh, a Space Marine doing this, a Space Marine doing that. No, you're going to be looking at things throughout the various perspectives of beings within 40K. So while yes, we will be getting a few perspective of like what the Space Marines do, we're also going to be getting so much more than that. So I can't wait for this to drop. It is going to be a subscription service. We don't know exactly how much, but again, everyone, please keep your eyes and ears peeled for the 23rd of this month, where Warhammer community will be dropping a ton more information. Maybe even it'll come out that day. So with that being said, guys, let me know what you're looking forward to the most in this anthology. Do you want to learn more about the Emperor? Maybe you want to see what an orc thinks about the daily life of an orc would be pretty cool. Or maybe you guys just want to dive into war, brutality in these little shorts. Because again, we have a ton of animations to look forward to. And in the meantime, be sure to check out Dread, Judge Dredd, and Event Horizon for movies that really embody what it is to be in the grim darkness of 40K. Thank you guys for listening. As always, if you guys like what we do here, please help us out by subscribing, liking, and commenting down below. Hit that notification button so you guys don't miss out on our videos that we post each and every day. And if you guys do want to give us more support, you can always head on over to our Patreon page, where a simple $1 that you guys pledge really helps us in the long run. So again, thank you. And as always, this has been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.